With the rise of modern day problems, we're all looking for tips, tricks, and hacks to improve our lives and become the best version of ourselves, which requires effort and discipline. The ancient Stoics had something else that sounds quite contradictory. They said things not to do, effort not to give. And this was the path to improving yourself. This was the best path. So this is 5 things to quit right now, according to the ancient Stoics, explained by myself, William Mulligan, author of The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life, which is now available in America. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. Let's jump into the episode. So 5 things to quit right now. These are 5 mistakes or actions that we're probably doing that are ruining our lives and putting us down the wrong path. So the first thing to quit right now, according to the ancient Stoics, is making everyone happy or people pleasing. If you give your energy to making everyone happy, you'll end up making yourself sad. Why? Because your expectations is in making everyone happy, which is impossible. Because you could do one thing that makes 1,000 people happy, but also pisses off another 1,000 people. Everyone has different experiences in life, different expectations. So you can't make everyone happy. It's physically impossible. Even the greatest people in the world that are loved by millions, someone like Fred Rogers or Muhammad Ali, they still annoyed a lot of people and upset a lot of people. So it's impossible. Get this idea out of your head that you can make everyone happy, because all you're doing to push their happiness up, you're pushing your own experience, your own happiness down. I was guilty of this for most of my life. I was always trying to make everyone happy. And what this resulted in is living a shell of your existence. You're not living up to your full potential because you're pushing down your own desires, your own pursuits, your own aims, your own thoughts, your own personal self. You're hiding your unique self in order to make everyone happy because you're scared to reveal certain things that might upset others. But these certain things are your path to living your good life. So we need courage to actually be ourselves and stand up for what's right. Because oftentimes standing up for what is right will annoy a lot of people. So that is why you cannot make everyone happy, and this will just lead to you becoming sad. So you need to get this idea out of your head. Just remember, it's physically impossible to make everyone happy. That is impossible. And you become sad in the process. And what this also does is if you're people pleasing all the time, then you're not being your true self, and you're not giving your true self to the world. So the people who love you or the people you love that are around you, they're not getting the full you because you're hiding behind this front, this mask that you're putting on to make other people happy. So the first thing to quit doing right now is stop making everyone happy. Stop trying to people please. Because by living up to your true self and being a good person, following the virtues of Stoicism, that in turn will make people happier. You'll be making a better world around you that the people around you can live in. So that is number 1. Number 2, to stop right now, is overthinking. And I know before I explain this, a lot of people are going to say, I can't stop overthinking. I can't stop ruminating. I have a mental condition. I have difficulties with these things, which is true. That is true. I know many people that suffer with these problems. I myself, when I was younger, I've heard this same advice, stop overthinking, and it just sounds ridiculous. Then you start overthinking, and suddenly your mind's going down a dark spiral, and it's getting worse and worse. The point of not overthinking, I'll explain from my point of view with social anxiety. So if I had a meeting or a social event, say I had a meeting with someone, a potential podcast that I was going to do about Stoicism, for example, and I have to meet this person face to face and talk to them. When I was younger, a month before, I'd be thinking about this, planning for it, going, what if they say this? What if I get their name wrong? What if I offend them? What if I do this? What if I trip on my words? What if I freeze and it's embarrassing? And I did all this in the disguise of preparing myself. I was saying, I'm preparing myself for this thing. And then the day before, or the few hours before, I'm sat there thinking, what if this goes wrong? What if I shake the hand and they go for a hug? What if the European, they go to kiss me on the cheek, I go to hug, or I go to shake the hand, I go for a fist bump. I don't do any of these things. What if, any of this? And it sounds silly when I say it now, but I know this train of thought, and I know many people will understand this. And your mind's just spinning 100 miles an hour, and you're getting really anxious. You can't breathe very good. You're shaking, you're sweating, and it's not nice. It's not a nice feeling. This is what I mean by overthinking. And I used to always be like this, and it did nothing, because when I actually get to the event where I have to shake this person's hand, I've got all these thoughts that are just clouding my judgment, and now I just shell up. I just get scared and don't really do anything. And then I'm just not living to my full potential. I'm not being my true self, because I've got all this worry and anxiety that's kind of binding me and restricting my true nature to flourish. So they never get the true me, and it leaves me hating every single interaction. Now I love interacting with people. It's amazing. I love talking to people, helping people helping me, that kind of thing, conversing. So the method I had is, if I have a meeting coming up in a week's time, I can do an hour's research on who the person is, just to get a vague idea of who they are, or get a good understanding of who they are, what we're going to talk about. And that's it. I put it to the side, and I have to trust that my bit of research, my study, is enough. And then when I meet them, I try to just ignore all these thoughts. And they come in and go, what if I do this wrong? And I say, I've done the research. Yeah, but what if I get the name wrong? I've done the research. And you just kind of have to trust yourself that your past experience is enough. I used to get it for these videos. So say I've studied Stoicism at this point, back then, for 8 years. Studied it, practiced it for 8 years. I've read all the books. I had all this knowledge. But when I came to do a video, the day before, I'd get really anxious. Oh, what if I get this word wrong? What if I get this wrong? What if I say Marcus Aurelius' name wrong, or Epictetus, Seneca? What if I make a mistake about memento mori, of a dichotomy of control, and it leaves me embarrassed? I just had to say to myself, no, I've studied this for 8 years. Now it's longer, but I've studied this for 8 years. I've practiced this for 8 years. This one day of worry, this one day of making myself feel anxious, isn't going to improve anything. There's nothing I can do in this one day that I haven't had these 8 years to do. I have to trust that my past experience is enough. And that's the same with meeting people. You have to trust that your years of interacting with friends and family, being this great person that you are, that is enough. And one day of worry will only make this worse. So every time I started going into these things and I'd get a bit anxious, get a bit worried, I say, I've done enough. I've done enough. And it doesn't really stop the thoughts coming in, but the thoughts come in and you stop grabbing at them, holding on to them. You stop grabbing them and holding on to them. And eventually you get better and better at this. And months of doing this, suddenly you can let these thoughts pass. Sometimes they come in and they're a bit invasive, but you're no longer practicing these thoughts. You're no longer giving strength to these thoughts. So you get better and better at avoiding these thoughts and not holding on to them. A quick word from our sponsor, Huel. Huel is a quick, affordable, nutritiously complete food with everything that your body needs. I really like Huel. When I was writing my book, I was using Huel to power me through every single day. When I had my daily greens, when I had my meals, when I had my shakes, it stopped me from going to the shop, buying a load of rubbish, buying a load of unhealthy food, wasting loads of money. And these things do add up. Those quick journeys to the shop every day, the money adds up, the unhealthy foods add up, the wasted time adds up. So if I ever get those cravings, I grab a Huel and it fills my cravings. I feel good, it tastes delicious, it's quick and easy. And if you have any interest in the Huel products, then check the link in the description. Let's get back to the episode. So the second thing to stop right now, according to the Stoics, is overthinking. So now you have making everyone happy, overthinking. And the third thing is self-pity. As Dr. Michael Sugru said, all men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. I like to think that self-pity is the death of solution. What do I mean by this? So, when I was younger and I was in the building trade and I was in a very bad place mentally, just getting up to the discovery of Stoicism, I was self-pitying. I was pitying myself all the time, saying, how bad is my situation? How rubbish am I? How bad is everything? How bad is the world? Everyone's horrible. And what this does, and this is what I mean by it's the death of solution. If I'm in a rubbish place and someone hands me the path to freedom, they hands me the key, and there's the door. With this self-pity, I go, I can't see the door. There's no door. Why'd you give me this key? There's no door. And the solution is to open that door and begin this venture. But when you self-pity, you say, this guy's lying to me. I don't deserve this key. I don't deserve this door. And you avoid the solution. So no matter what good can be handed to you in life, you pity yourself and you just avoid it, because self-pitying is addictive. It makes you feel comfortable in some sort of way. It makes you feel like it's okay to not try. It's okay to give up. It's okay to not go through the pain, the difficulty. It's okay not to face the problems of life that you've been avoiding for so long, because you're pitying yourself. You can just say, oh, I can't do this. I can give up. So even if someone hands you the solution to fix all your problems, you find another way to pity yourself. Even if you walk through that door, you will still somehow pity yourself. So what you need to think is these thoughts of pity, the self-pity, is not productive. And as Dr. Marcus Aurelius says, all men suffer, but not all men pity themselves. Everyone suffers, women and men. Everyone suffers. It's a fact of life. We all go through some forms of difficulties through our lives. But some people choose to not pity themselves. And yeah, it's hard. Sometimes life kicks you on the floor, knocks you down. But pitying yourself will only keep you down longer and longer, and you'll never stand up on your feet and find your direction and find your way. So that is, stop making everyone happy, stop overthinking, and stop pitying yourself. The fourth thing from the Stoics to quit right now is dwelling on the past, which is a form of overthinking, but it's about your past. And the clear thing to see here is the only thing we have is this present moment that we're in right now. You listening to me speaking to you. Well, actually, that's a different present moment because you're listening to me later on, unless you was listening to this live. But you know what I mean? Right now, I'm in my present. You'll be in your present listening to me. And the past, whatever mistakes you did in the past, whatever regrets, they exist in the past now, which is not real. The past does not exist. And any overthinking of the past, trying to change the past, trying to correct the past, will just lead to rumination and lead to you chewing up these thoughts, regurgitating them, and remembering the past in a different light. Every time you pass a mistake through your head, you pass a regret through your head, you remember it in a different light. And because you're looking at it in a negative light, regretting it, ruminating on it, every time you do this, you latch onto the negative aspects of this past mistake, and it keeps getting worse and worse. And you get stuck in the past, which makes you in the present a worse person because you're burdened by the past. Even if you've done something wrong, you've hurt someone, you've harmed someone in the past, and you think, I don't deserve to move on. I don't deserve to be better. I don't deserve this happiness that comes from working on myself. Well, even for the person that you've done wrong, as odd as it may sound, and as much as they may not understand this, it is better for them for you to be a better person. It is better for them for you to put more good into this world, and maybe that good will one day touch them. But even if it doesn't, it touches everyone in the world, and they are part of this world. They are interconnected with the cosmic nature of the universe, as the Stoics believe. So even if you cannot let go of this past mistake because you've done wrong, the best way is to stop beating yourself up now, making yourself a worse person, and not moving on from that, and start doing good, being a better person, so that you make the world around you a better place. This is how you can make up for your sins, in a way. So The last of the things to quit right now is feeding bad energy. What do I mean by this? Let's go back to me in the building trade. And I would walk to work. Well, I'd walk to the bus stop at like 5 a.m, wait at the bus stop for 10 minutes. I'd catch the bus for 30 minutes, get off the bus, wait there for another 20 minutes, catch another bus for 40 minutes, wait at the bus stop for my boss to pick me up. That was a lot of time for me to sit and think. And all these thoughts for these 2 hours or so, and then the 2 hours home or so, and my day working, with my head stuck deep inside this cage, they were all negative. They were all bad thoughts. And I was feeding the bad energy, saying, how bad is this? How bad is that? How bad am I? How bad is life? And it was just all dark. And I was just latching onto the bad, trying to feed this bad energy. This voice in here, this overwatcher. I was rewarding the overwatcher for giving bad thoughts, for giving bad energy. And I was saying, yeah, keep doing that, because I'm latching onto these ideas and keep latching on. And what happens is you get good at this, and this voice up here that's watching over you will get good at looking for the bad, seeking the bad, adding to the bad. And it's not nice. And I know, I don't want to guess a percentage, but I know most people, this voice up here that's overwatching them, telling them what they think of this, what to do of this, their opinion of this. I know most people have a negative self-talk, and they think that's normal. That is completely not normal. This voice is just there, but this voice can be good. And this is one of the most amazing things. When you train this voice to become good, this overwatcher, it becomes like a guardian angel, that even if you're in a difficult situation, a stressful situation, a bad situation, this voice will be like a wise sage watching over you going, hey, but can you see this? Can you see that path? Can you see this solution? Can you see this good? Can you see the light in the darkness? And it will just look for the good way to go. And it's watching over you. How? It's the same voice. It's just your mind, and it works this way because you practice this, you get good at this. If you practice basketball, you get good at basketball. If you practice football, you get good at football. If you practice this self-talk and keep rewarding it for looking for the good, you get better at this, and it'll start to become a guardian angel watching over you, pushing you in the right direction. And it's a powerful tool. And the way I did this is, when I was taking this travel to and from work, I read it somewhere online, this advice that I'm telling you now, and I thought it was the stupidest thing, but I tried it because I was desperate. And I remember trying it, I'm walking there and I'm going, oh, today's good. I'm getting a donut from the shop with a coffee. And it just felt so fake. And I was like, I kept resisting it, going, oh, shut up. That's so fake. This isn't going to help. But I kept persisting, going, I'm coming home to my family. My mum's made me dinner, this. I'm going to the gym. I got friends at the gym. Oh, the sun's shining. Oh, the rain looks amazing. And eventually I was getting better at doing this. And now it's just second nature. I do this. I can't imagine being in this place where I'm always looking for the bad. I think it's such a defeatist mentality. So 5 things to quit right now, according to the ancient Stoics: making everyone happy, overthinking, self-pity, dwelling on the past, and feeding bad energy. Write them 5 down and just look at them on a piece of paper and cross them out. Overthinking, self-pity, dwelling on the past, feeding bad energy, making everyone happy. Look at them, cross them out and say, I won't do these things anymore, because the Stoics, they knew what was good. They had the right blueprints to life. And which brings me to my next point is my book, The Everyday Stoic, Simple Rules for a Good Life, is available probably by the time this goes out in America. So you can order it now in America. It's still available in UK as always. And it's available, someone messaged me saying they got it in Singapore, a bookstore, which is cool to hear. I didn't know it had reached Singapore yet. So this book right here is my blueprint to the good life, the blueprints I followed, which consists of advice like this. It consists of so much Stoic principles that helped me go from being scared, anxious, feeling like a victim to the world, having no direction, to being confident, happy, balanced, having direction, feeling incredible. It it's truly remarkable. I can't even imagine my young self looking at the person I am now and hearing the words. I go, you are a liar. No one can feel good. No one can feel happy. Because I always thought that when I was younger. I thought people don't actually feel these things that you see in the movies. Well, I do. And it's a good feeling. And I hope, I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to explain that you listening can get here. And the path consists in this book. But if you don't want to buy my book, keep listening to the free podcast and eventually you'll start to soak up this wisdom. Have a great day and thank you for listening. Oh, and if you're listening on a streaming platform that's not YouTube, or if you're listening on YouTube, subscribe. But if you're listening on a streaming platform, follow and give me a rating, as that would be very helpful. Have a wonderful day and thank you.